Okay, what's up? This is VOD review for Taters on Wagner Phone on. They're playing I Am the Kobold. 20 minutes of games. We got Uni open. We're gonna see what happens, and we're gonna see if we can give them some advice. So let's get into it. Probably gonna mute this. Okay, dash blocking is good. Immediately, probably just a missed dash block. 2 frames. 2 frames is pretty good. So yeah, just gotta clean up the dash blocks a little bit off the start. Yeah, this is a classic spot against Phonon, especially against Fireball. Let's go to Uni actually. We're gonna see exactly what that spot is. We'll probably go back and forth quite a lot actually. Here we go. So this is 5cc. Sorry, it says 5C 5B charge Fireball. So this is +4 for Phonon. More advantageous depending on spacing. Will be at least, well, it'll always be plus. But especially at this range, it's going to be relatively plus. So this is a spot that you probably just want to dash block. You don't really want to commit to up forward. Like maybe you want to smash 6-6C, but the danger with smashing 6-6C, as we might see later, is that if Phonon likes doing jump fireball, then 6-6C is a lot less good. Okay, so you're poised to win the cycle here. Yep, just chill. You don't need to overextend. All right, early OS. Okay, routing could use a little bit of work, but that's fine. You take shield. Taking shield is really interesting against Phonon, because at least in my opinion, because the one main advantage that Wagner used to have over Phonon is that Phonon's EXDP used to be entirely projectile property, which means that you could meaty her with FF, and it would blow through a projectile, and she would look really dumb. But it's a strike now, and for pressure, you really want Sword to increase the threat of throw and let you try to also get a lot more chip. The chip increase is noticeable enough that if you start committing to the playstyle where you're just going to try and jail Phonon instead of actually opening her up, she will just slowly start losing the game. Okay, 5B no cancel I really like. The 5B no... I like playing around 5B no cancel on offense. Oh, like that string was money. And then... So the thing with 6-6B... We'll go back to Uni. So 6-6B is -3 when uninstalled and -2 when installed. Which means that this is something that you're probably going to want to look for a lot. Holy shit. That's like the main thing that you're going to want to look for. Now, immediate 214. I usually do 214A for this. You have a little bit of wiggle room to delay this when it's installed to get that nice 3-frame gap. And you got to be careful with the gap, because you can create a 6-frame gap, and sorry, I need to go back to this. And so if they're shielding your 6-6B, then it's going to increase that gap, so it becomes a little more challenging to control. One thing that I notice, especially with a lot of Wagner players that aren't like super comfortable and they've done all of the thinking already on their offense, is that they will 6-6B no cancel almost exclusively. You got to show the frame trap, and I think it's better to show the frame trap early. But it's fine to get mashed on. Oh, that was a clean dash 2A. Again, routing could use a little work, but that's okay. That's not a big deal. All right, this is a dopamine play. This is 100% a dopamine play. Phonon has chain shift, and yes, she won't be able to reversal because you're doing ICFF with install, but this doesn't really do anything for you. You're spending grid to maybe do something. And I'm almost certain that, just based on like what I've seen from you play before, that you're not going to do the partial charge 2FF mix and then cancel it at 2-2C to keep yourself safe, which is where that's like kind of usable. This is a dopamine play. This kind of stuff needs to, especially game 1, round 1. This is like a layer 19 option. You got away with not being punished, because by the way, we'll go back to uni for a moment. This is minus 13. Phonon has a lot of buttons that are big, and will hit you from there. Sometimes we get a little bit antsy, and that's okay. In this matchup, until you get a lot more experienced on defense, I like delay teching against Phonon in general. Phonons are getting increasingly cheeky. Okay, the Alki was good. You probably should have gotten EXDP'd there, but it's fine. You get grid broken here, so now you gotta... Okay, nice. I was really worried that in this spot, you were gonna VO immediately, which is a pretty bad net play habit that some people will have. But you don't. You relax and you understand. All right, let me just block for a little bit, and then we'll see what's going on. Okay, so now you have meter. So let's actually think about round start a little bit more for a moment. Okay, so let's do this from the opposite perspective now. Okay, so what can we contest from Phonon? I need to set the enemy to have Vorpal. Also, if you don't know, this is generally how you lab round start interactions, is that you give your opponent Vorpal. Okay, sorry. So maybe she'll do something like that. She probably won't do something like that. It's probably up back fireball, right? Or like 5BB. Or like dash 2A. Okay, so what can we do about these things? So 660 will beat a couple of things. 660 will actually do a lot. Except... we can get back to it. Except against up back fireball. I think it personally, in my opinion, what I like doing the most against Phonon in this matchup is dash block, dash 5B. Dash block should be your layer 1 or slight walk back 1 to deal with round start B pillar or round start 3C if they catch people walking back. So you just walk back a little bit and then crouch. Dash 5B. This shit is insane in all parts of the game. If you can find yourself in a spot where dash 5B seems like a good option, it probably is. But outside of that, generally in this matchup, you're going to want to come in until you get to about here, at which point all of your B buttons are better than her B buttons. Her 5A is, I think, a little bit better than your 5A, but hers is 6 frames if I recall. Some things to think about. Let's keep going. Okay, I like this pressure. I like this pressure. Okay, so the spacing here was good. This was something that I alluded to earlier, of the playstyle where you just kind of jail Phonon and repeatedly play for the cycle over and over again once you have a life lead. You can force Phonon into situations where she really has to overcommit on defense, which is where a lot of the strength in this matchup is that if you play your offense around Phonon, then there's not a lot that Phonon can do. It's kind of similar to if you play a matchup against Waldstein and you specifically build your offense around outspacing a command throw and then just repeatedly like abusing him with better frame data, that's what you're going to run into here as well. So especially when you have the cycle, like you're about to win the cycle and things are coming up, the onus is no longer on you. Like at this point, you can sit and wait for the opponent to try to make a play if they're going to make a play. Like here, Kobold makes a play, but they also made a play that you allowed them to make. And it's probably going to get close to costing you the cycle. I think maybe they could have dropped to concentrate for it, but that's all right. So now here... Okay, nice, just wait. Okay, so Phonon's doing a lot of up back fireball, so we're gonna have to think about that. Okay, you got a good combo. Okay, nice, good confirm. Okay, we're gonna end in 2-2-C. If you're going to end in 2-2-C, and this to me looked like you kind of decided halfway through that you were gonna end your combo in 2-2-C. So this is plus 12. I think maybe you did a little bit different route. But the main thing is that if you're going to end in 2-2-C, end in installed drill. 2-2-C. So this situation afterwards, the rising jump A, falling jump A, will safe jump on quick rise. It'll cover forward tech, and it'll give you a spacing where you can safe jump and then press 5A, or you can safe jump and press dash 5B if they stay in place. Definitely having good knockdowns in this matchup matters, because then you get into a point where you can play around things like 2B, tip 6B, like the Wagner Classic, where let me get them to block again. Where you do, I have them shielding, so that was actually the +3 spacing because I'm godlike. Where you get +3 2-1-4A and stuff like that. All the good shit that you want to have on offense in the corner. So make sure that even if your combos, if you want to like improve your routing, first make sure that your enders are good so that you get real knockdowns and you can get another hit. Then have them do more damage. Like the combos you're doing right now, you can get a lot more damage out of them if you want to. Oh, I'll enter this. You can get more damage out of them if you want, but the main thing is that try to get a better knockdown. Yeah, so like you know the setup, but you don't know what you need to do to get into the setup, and it's installed drill 2-2-C, up back J, falling jump A. Good scramble, 4A meaty, super good against Phonon, or any character whose primary reversal is going to be Veil off. You can kill here. Okay, nice. You got the kill. You could have gotten more damage out of that, but at the end of the day, you got the kill, and that's what matters. Okay, we're starting midway through. I'm like, I do not remember watching 7 games already, and it's because we didn't. Which means that, okay, then some of my takes will be a little bit different here because there are already some layers going on. Okay, nice. Not biting on the throw. Okay, now we got to chill, win the cycle. Okay, throw is kind of the only way we lose cycle here. So let's look at the sequence again. Let me go back like just a little bit. So this spot, Phonon's dashing up at you, and you are about to win the cycle. Pretty much the only way that you can lose the cycle here with this deficit is getting thrown, which means that you kind of don't really want to OS, and you can't just take the throw. So this is a spot where mashing on defense is really good. Because your 5A is godlike. Checking this dash with either 5A or 5B is like kind of the headspace that you should be in this kind of position when you're thinking about the cycle. It looks like that you're kind of more so worried about this crazy girl with a whip who's running at you at the moment, which is a very valid thing to be concerned about. But the cycle down here is where like the real game opens up. Okay, nice. Dash block. This right here is a Phonon dopamine situation. throw to win cycle, and then 63 BCS. Okay, nice. That was a reaction. Okay, so we're looking to skip neutral. I like the fact that you took sword buff and then threatened some space and didn't immediately smash IC214. That kind of patience is important because the IC214 is you're waiting to see something that you can blow through. All right, we're losing the cycle again. Well, you could have been reversal there, but it's fine. Oh, okay. I do not know about mashing 6B here. If that was supposed to be a DP, I could believe that. But waking up with 6B is not advised. Okay, punish. Nice. 5B2C is a good punish. All right, we're dropping our routes, which is fine. All right. We're scrambling and we pick up. Okay, so we take both buffs. Do we go into burn routing? No, because we already used our sword install. All right, that's cheap. Okay, optimizations to think about here. Let's go back to the hit. So 6B, they pretty much should be dead regardless from here, because it's 6B, you have Vorpal and some meter, so they should be super dead. If they're not going to be dead here, and you get this spot where you get double installs, there's some ST routing that you can go into to end in burn, like, let me just show you. It might be easier to show you than explain. I need the cycle again. I'm going to try to not talk about routing that much, because I think that's not as useful of your time. Sorry, I actually need to reset this so that I have this. Okay. Oh, what the... But like the basic theory, I'm not going to do an actual route. Is that. Because if you look, I'm +3 there. And I have burn and both installs. So that's a concept to sit in your head. If you want something to learn, then you can do that. But also learning that is less important if your offense is not as patient and focused on jailing them. And the routing that you do here is fine. Oh, sorry, no, you could have... The routing here was kind of bad. You could have killed them, but it's fine, because Assault J, especially online, is pretty good. You're going to have to play, like, really good people for them to be able to block that on reaction. Or, like, be more cognizant of the situation. Oh, okay, that was probably a -5B, based on what you were looking for, which was actually a good poke. Oh, confirm? Oh, you got a 660 there. Okay, we're just blowing in. Yeah, you didn't have install. It's kind of important to pay attention to when you have installs. Okay, she's Omega Plus there, so we wait. We're going to win the next cycle, so we can just chill. We can chill for a little bit. I like checking the dash there. This is one of those spots where it's like, technically this is really plus, but it looks like you were just pressing 2A. If you were doing like 2AD, like 2ADD in this spot, like that would have been super godlike to check if they're going to use their plus frames afterwards. You should be able to kill here. Just DP again. Nice. Man after my own heart. Actually, I shouldn't assume your gender. I should not be stupid. Sorry. My bad. Okay, let's go back a little bit. We got a little sidetracked. Oh, this is kind of... All right, so you actually have a lot of ideas in like the close quarters. Nice. This is money. That's the money spot there. Your corner routing is good as well. Again, this is the spot where like if you get comfortable taking sword install and playing around like dash 5B, 6B, like walk back 5C, all that kind of stuff to get the phone on player on defense really antsy, you're gonna have a little bit better time of things. long term. Oh, that DP was kind of crazy. And then, yeah, recognizing when your opponent is going to hit the dopamine button is definitely a skill that takes a little while to develop. Okay, we're chilling out. I'm not sure why they're spending meter randomly. All right, so here, this is the spot where this is like kind of the bad way to do this. Is like, okay, you know the idea. You get shield and then use shield to get in. If Kobold was a little more on top of it, that could have been up back, fireball punish, and then you probably die actually. So you got to remember that you can't wish for the situation to happen. 6xc? Oh, okay. So in this spot, especially if you see someone backdash, you don't have sword, so drill isn't going to work here. So 6xc is going to be your next best friend. This will counter hit backdashing opponent. Dash 5B as well will work, but probably 6xc is the most consistent way to do this. Okay, nice. Yeah, so we're playing around space 214, which is good. I don't think you could have killed here. I like taking buffs instead. Unfortunately, even when you have buffs, if opponent has CS and meter, and you're going to die to the reversal, you kind of got to play around this a little bit better on offense. All right, I like the check. This routing is kind of spooky to go into. How am I going to set this up, actually? I'm going to need to set the opponent to just, like, be jumping. Yeah, you can see it's like kind of inconsistent of what you can get. Like no Wagner player is going to do this. My brain is doing that because I'm a VAT player, and so I wanna get charged as close as I can. That's probably something to think about. Is that if you're gonna mash 5A. This is the concept of a hit stop OS, where if you look at my inputs, I'm plinking C. So that the C button only comes out on hit. That's a spot where something like that will work out. Play around with things like that. See if that helps you in some of those situations. Oh, sorry, she's gonna keep jumping. We'll go back again. The idea, actually, you did the right thing. 6B, but you got to do one hit 6B. So that's just a practice and situational awareness thing. You actually had the right idea. Dude, what is this Minecraft ass music? Oh, it's because it is Minecraft music. This is a little better. Okay. Yeah, so this is a spot where you're losing a lot of ground off of not understanding how to use your knockdowns to your advantage. This is a situation that you can drill in training room. How you do this, if you don't know. And again, I'm not saying that you don't know how to do this. I'm just putting this in here so that if you want to refer to it and you're tired one day or whatever, that it's there for you. Set them to all guard during. Then match like 5A. So they'll take the first hit, and then they'll start blocking. If you give them a reversal action, they'll do that on wake up. So those are your settings to allow that kind of situation. Combo into knockdown, into Oki, into meaty. Important thing to have really down pat. That needs to be like the most solid part of your offense is getting the first hit. Get stripped. Okay, so in this spot, when you get stripped like this, you have a decision. You can either try to fight back for the cycle, because you have time to fight back for the cycle, or you can just say, you know what, I'm just going to sit here and block because you're phone on, and realistically, if I sit here and block, there's not a whole lot that you can do. So I also probably would have whiffed the same green shield if I'm being perfectly honest, because I also would have tried to make the play for the cycle. Now the cycle's turbo lost, so phone on's concentrating. She looks like she's within 660 range. And I think that's one button that you're not really considering right now is 660. And 660 is dangerous because it can be a bit of a dopamine button where you just start smashing it. Okay, nice. Yeah, you're also kind of playing for dopamine a little bit with these installed force functions. Oh yeah, I noticed Cobalt likes doing this. Phone on players like getting cheeky, especially in spots where if they're right, it'll close out the round. Delay teching doesn't cost grid and is really good. Like mixing up your tech timings in general is a really useful skill. But delay teching against this character in particular just gets you out of like all of the funny spots. Okay, let's see what we got for this next game. Okay, so this spot. 660 fireball stuff. Let's get into this. So generally speaking, phone on will go into delay fireball to be like super plus. And it'll frame trap. You can see the interrupted is 3. Interrupted is 2 plus 3. Interrupted is... So like if she's really greedy with it, you can mash 5A. But generally speaking, they'll do like small gap. That leaves them plus afterwards. Which I'm going to imagine is what happened here. Let's have a look at it again. Yeah, so frame trap that leaves them plus. If you want to wild out, DP in that spot is reasonable. Yeah, you kind of missed your opportunity on defense here to make one play for the cycle. Okay, that's just kind of spooky. Sometimes you get got. Oh, you kind of crossed yourself up a little bit. Okay, so you're gonna lose the cycle again. The main thing on defense in this matchup is that Phonon kind of relies on you to kill yourself a little bit. Because like she doesn't really have mix. Like she has strike throw, which right now is gonna be really scary, but as you gain more experience, her strike throw is gonna become less and less scary. She's got like 6 FFB, which you can fuzzy. You block 1, 2, 3, stand up, and then start crouching again. And then she's got like Assault J, and Assault J is kind of whatever. It doesn't do that much damage. You only really need to be worried about it if it's going to kill you. So yeah, kind of watch. You really got to play for the cycle on defense, especially if you're not in a position to win the cycle. Oh. Good block. Okay, so phone on players will do this specific situation a lot, which is on defense, up back shield. You can call out up back shield with dash 5C, because 5C will air unblockable them, and then they get grid broken, and then they're sad, and then they're gonna think about smashing VO. But definitely like something to practice. set it up in the lab, and try to capitalize off of it. Because that's a super common OS for phone-on players in particular. There's a couple other characters that really like 171AD, but phone-on players really like it because they don't have a consistent anti-air. Okay, good blocks, plus. TK Fireball like that. It's just... Whoop! Sorry, TK Fireball. I think it gets a little bit better with spacing. But point blank is 0, actually. So let's look at this again. Yeah, so that was slightly advantageous for phone on. But that's where shielding Fireball starts changing the frame data, and then maybe you can get a shield 5A or a shield ADP or something like that. Probably not the second one, just maybe think about shield 5A. Especially on close TK Fireball like that. If she's further back, like, you saw the frame data only gets better the further back she is when she just TKB Fireball like that. Alright, so we're not super chilling yet. Okay, now we're super chilling. Oh, but we try to take our turn back, but it's fine. Okay, now we're in the money. We have the cycle. I like that you're not immediately skipping neutral with Drill CS. Okay, we're checking him. Oh, your running here is good. Okay, we bait it. Now I gotta make him pay. Hey. Again, we already talked about this knockdown. This knockdown is currently bad. But now you have a better one. I noticed that you're kind of committing a little bit too late to thinking about shielding on defense. Okay, again, that's where that dash 5C can really start to be helpful. Nice. I was actually just going to mention that if Phonon is going to keep checking your dash with lows, that Assault is where you need to go to. Okay, we gotta keep your offense a little bit tighter. Oh, that was spooky. That'll come with experience. Okay, we just don't get punished. We're so back. Oh, it's all over. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt that that this was a 3-CAD that you just didn't get to 3 in time for. It's okay. Oh, we're scrambling though. 40 seconds left. Yeah, these are situations where it's like scrambles like this, you will get better at with experience. Oh! You were almost so nice. I don't think I would have gotten that confirmed right now. Okay, watch the cycle. Cycle's the only way you can lose this, because you need the cycle to get this life lead back. Alright, where are we? We're about halfway into the games that you've sent. So again, main takeaways is that gotta start thinking about this little thing around the bottom here a little bit more. And then kind of practice your offense where you set yourself up in ranges that Phonon can't counterpoke you as well. Oh, we actually lost the cycle there. It's all over. And take sword buff there. Get yourself used to taking sword buff there and playing strike throw. Where's the throw? Where's the throw? Oh, I gotta dash a little further for that one. That confirm's kind of tricky. Okay, so we're not thinking about using our CS on defense, especially when Phonon's starting to wild out like this. That's where like CS ADP if we've got meter, or CS BDP is your friend. Oh, that was all kinds of spooky. We're not gonna worry about that. Okay, so these kind of sequences here, is just something where you're gonna have to set Phonon up to do strings and like start recognizing what some of this rebeat frame data is and what you can do about it. So that's 2C rebeat 4B. First gonna leave this in windowed mode so it's easier for... So 2C rebeat is -4. And then 4B I'm gonna have to ask Lex about, because actually don't remember off the top of my head. Lex, if you don't know, is the bot in the Unicord. Go bang FD phone on 4B. 15 frame startup. So that's a 19 frame gap. That's a pretty big gap. You can think about 6C, you can think about 6B, you can think about 5C, you can think about dash 5B, think about dash 2B. I think is probably your cleanest option here, because that's realistically going to be like between 12 and 15. So you got like kind of a 4 frame window there of wiggle room. But I'm bad about this as well, because I haven't taken the time to like train my reactions against Phonon rebeats. But you can check, you can see what the frame data is, and then do the math and think to yourself, oh, okay, yeah, I do have answers to this. I don't just need to sit here and block infinitely until the game is over. These two-way presses on defense are like they're placed well to check incoming dashes and things like this. Okay, so your -1 turned into -4, but -4 at that range is still reasonable for you with like 6B and 5C and 6C. Oh, caught the mash. And this to me is like, yeah, you're starting to get a little bit antsy. This goes back to a concept I was talking about at my local last night a lot, actually, which is that if you are actively thinking about what you can do in those kind of spots, it's already too late. But that's what the lab is for, because in fighting games, in a lot of the situations, you need to do a lot of your thinking beforehand, because until you're like super experienced, like this is still kind of hard for like even players like Rurik and me when we play each other, is that we kind of have to find our times when we can think, because thinking in the middle of the match until you have like a lot of thinking done beforehand and a lot of your neutral internalized in your hands so you don't have to think about it as much is really taxing on you mentally. And it means that it'll slow down your other decisions. So in spots like this, if you want to try and find an answer, because this is casuals. Like casuals is to gain new like playing the game is to gain new problems to take back to the lab and try and work on. And that's how we get better at fighting games. So this is a time where you can fuck around and find out a little bit. But if you're going to fuck around and find out a little bit, you need to be a bit more willing to commit to a decision a bit faster. Okay, nice. This is something that you weren't showing a lot earlier, is it's taken you a while to reincorporate throw as an option. Okay, so this spot, so you've got your -1. Your rebeat's a bit late here. So a situation that mathematically should be -1 for you was probably more like -3 or -4, because you canceled it into the 5A a little bit late. That's something that you can go into training room and like really help drill for you. Sorry, I need you to stop mashing. So like if I cancel this too late, then I lose a bunch of my advantage. Like those are all like offensive sequences to think about in that kind of spot. Also, if you don't have this this frame data viewer, I highly recommend that you get the frame data viewer. If you ask in a bunch of the discords, someone can link it to you. But this is like what takes your labbing and gives you a lot more information to work with. That can be a lot more meaningful for you. Okay, bite on the option select. Oh, again, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt that that's a 3C that turned into a 2C. Yeah, we're a little scared. CS. That's one thing that I noticed that you aren't doing a relatively effective job of either, is using your CS on defense when you have it. Yeah, okay. That just seems like something you need to practice as well. If you, again, I'm just going to put this in here so that if you ever want it in here, that it's here for you. If you want to practice option selects. Have them jump. Dash 2A. Jump. Jump. Dash assault. Jump. Dash 5A delay throw. Jump. Throw. Have this repeat, and then turn the display off. You actually probably don't want to do it exactly like this. You probably want to have them backdash and then jump so that you can actually see them dash in. But you get the idea. You can set up the situations that you want to practice your option selecting against, so that you can help yourself be a little bit more effective at it. Because it looks like that's something that you've missed a handful of times. That it's something that you can take some time to practice and then really be able to leverage the power of it. Okay, where's the throw? Where's the throw? So you're moving through layers a little bit too quickly, where you kind of just gotta throw or scout for more information on if your opponent is option selecting. Strings that have natural gaps in them, like 5A, 5C, are good for this. Stop doing things, please. So that has a 1-frame gap, and if your opponent option selects immediately, you will see it as a crouch shield. So like if phone on is doing like up back shield OS, you can gain information on your offense with your strings. All right, I like the patience. Okay, that just looked like a bit of a raw 3C, but that's okay. We're gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. We're gonna be like, yeah, they're so fucking nice. They were just warming up the 3CAD before. They're actually a professional option selector. Unfortunately, you're not a professional delay techer. But it's okay. Now you know for next time. Okay, we got a little bit more. I'm gonna stop there actually, because I feel like I've given you quite a bit to work with. But yeah, this will be here recorded for you if you need it, and this will give you kind of a starting point of a bunch of things to work on that you can get generally better at. We didn't get too much into like specific matchup interactions, because there's still like some fundamentals that you're missing a little bit, especially when it comes to like some of the psychological aspects of like how you think about making decisions and where you then take the problems that you find from the game and take them back into the lab. So yeah, I hope this helps.